everybody. Welcome back to the Star Wars New Canon Book Club. It's a Jesse Alex kind of day.
There is
Mando.
less anger on the pod.
I don't know. When it comes to Mando, Davis is in. I'm so happy for him that he found Star Wars to love again.
Dude, that is like this whole episode for me, okay? Like, I was feeling not so hot last week. I've been like searching for answers. Honestly, what I've been doing for a week is looking on Reddit and finding how JJ like didn't mean to do this, and that like I still want to love JJ. I still want to love this movie. Like, I'm still trying to find the good in Star Wars. I feel like Luke going towards the Death Star in Return of the Jedi, but just instead of it being Darth Vader, it's Star Wars. And here's the thing. The last 15 minutes of this show just now, I've never felt more excited about Star Wars. I've never felt more fresh. I've never felt better about anything than like watching the last 15 minutes of this and just thinking about how open and infinite the world of Star Wars is.
Star Wars is bigger than a movie, and it's bigger than a character. Like, it's a universe, and if you're in the expanded universe, there's so much to love and so much to care about that it doesn't matter that one film didn't end the way you wanted it to.
Yeah, not at all.
If it mattered to me, I would have been out back in the Clone Wars days. I would have been like, I don't care.
I would be in like step 4 of however many steps there are to acceptance.
Yeah. You have your little grief moment, and you're just, you know.
Grief cargo, that is.
Hey, Mando! Mando! So, this episode starts us out with a literal red versus blue moment. We need to get into this. We need to just jump in.
Yeah, shout outs to
episode.
Jason Sudeikis, first of all, and then Adam Pally, who is yet another person who I've taken improv classes from. Those are these 2 scout troopers who are just like punching Baby Yoda repeatedly in the face, talking shit.
Yeah, they think it's just an animal, and they keep punching Baby Yoda.
It's like, in case you fucking forgot that Taika Waititi was directing this one episode of this season, what other way to start this than like 2 assholes being assholes and just totally like undermining the seriousness of this entire like scenario. Like, the last shot of the last episode is like Queel's burnt out husk of a corpse, and now we're looking at these stormtroopers. I loved the scene.
Yeah, and they again reestablish what I think has been done in book canon, but not on film or on TV, where they're just like, stormtroopers are terrible shots, and it's comically so. Like, everyone realizes it.
That was such a good bit. It was just like the visual of it just being 2 guys just like trying their best, and they like look at the guns too. They're like, what the
When he shakes the gun, it sounds like a spray paint can.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
It's a great little scene, and then all of a sudden IG-11 shows up and he's like, I'm the nurse. Put him down or I'm going to kill you. And then he just does.
I love how they don't even take him seriously. They're just like, dude, back off.
Yeah.
Come on. We're scout troopers. Back off, bro. And he just destroys them. And it's great.
I love their little white speeder bikes, though. I thought those are really cool, like that they're like stormtrooper white. That's really neat.
Yeah.
So we're back at the showdown that we were at the end of the last episode. Gideon's monologuing, basically. They're all just like watching him. And then he starts to like light everybody up. He just starts to like blow everybody up with knowledge. So he's standing out there. And this is when I started thinking to myself, this guy has the Force.
Well, we learn he is a former ISB agent. He is, for those people who are like, ISB, Imperial Security Bureau. Those are, it's Callus if you watched Rebels.
Internal Affairs.
Yeah, he starts dropping knowledge on them, just like, oh, Cara Cynthia Dune, or whatever her name is.
Cara Cynthia Dune. Oh, no, we find out she's from Alderaan.
Yeah, she has like a full name. Cara Dune is just a short version.
Yeah.
And she's from Alderaan, and that's why she hates the Imperials.
Which
it makes
is
sense.
Super badass. And then he's like, Mando, you're Din Djarin. And then he's like, also, Grief, you're done. You're going to get bodied. And he says he's disgraced.
Oh, he was the, not a governor of the planet, but
I can't remember what word he said, but it was like something like that. He used to be like in the government.
Yeah.
This makes Mando basically just reveal, no, this guy is like legit. And I know it's Moff Gideon because XYZ, but he basically tells the story of his parents' death in full, and we learn that no, it was not Anakin Skywalker or any Jedi that saved his parents, and we should have seen this coming a million miles away.
Sure.
It was just the Mandos, and I think Davis actually just said
Well,
this.
here's the thing. It wasn't just the Mandos. It was 100% Clan Vizsla, but also...
It was the Death Watch.
I think it was Death Watch, yeah. Which is a great lore bit for everyone who's like, oh, damn, Death Watch! Which, by the way, are the best Mandalorians, period, hands down.
The rest of the Mandos were trying to like capitulate the Empire. The Death Watch was like, fuck that. We are the kings.
Yeah.
What it translates to, I think, is just that if you look at their tribe and how secretive they are and how pragmatic they are and how like serious
I was just about to say that. Yeah, it makes sense. The whole like this is the way, why they're so hardcore, because Death Watch were those hardcore dudes.
Yeah, you can imagine that Death Watch maybe in the light of basically getting genocided, they might, refocus on, rebuilding instead of being aggro assholes to everyone.
Sure.
He also says something that I thought was really cool, which I think a lot of cosplayers and stuff are going to really love, is that Mandalorian isn't a race, it's a creed.
Right.
And I thought that was really cool because it sort of like explains the whole mindset of this entire culture in a way that I didn't really understand before this show, but I really like it as far as retcons go. You know what I mean? I love that idea. Let me show you this really quick while we're here. Somebody was looking at the scene, the flashback scene of the Mando's family being destroyed by these droids, and did a little bit of like...
it looks like Naboo.
Yeah, did some location scouting, and it looks one of those like green domed Nubian sort of Dinotopia-ass structures appears in this scene that's also in Naboo. So it's not confirmed or anything like that, but I love the idea, the speculation that maybe the Mando is Nubian.
Nubian? Is that what the Nubian?
Yeah, it's Nubian.
Not Nabooians? Nabooians.
Clatonians.
But I seem to recall that in canon, Naboo was protected by Palpatine.
Okay. Are you saying to me that Palpatine the entire time has just kept Naboo like pristine? And they don't...
Yeah, because that's his home, right?
But like, they just get a pass on the whole Empire thing? They just get to be Naboo?
Remember when Hitler had his like perfect place? Like he had his like, he made this mountain retreat that was this perfect little Nazi place, and then as the war is going on and all these travesties and terrible things are happening, this one little perfect place was like, everything is good up here. We are making sausages, right? It was. I
don't know about that place. That place sounds fucked up.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's what Palpatine was doing. Is he had this like perfect little, this is my home and no one touches my home.
So Gideon has this like big ass gun that he's gonna like bust them up with.
He does a Bond villain thing where he straight up is like, look, we're gonna have a chat. I'm gonna win anyway. So I'm gonna give you guys time to plan an escape because I got stuff to do apparently. And I'm gonna like just leave the scene for a minute and y'all take some time. But just know I've won. I'm gonna leave. It's like, okay.
So they can't get into this grate because the Mando's like, oh, you can get into our base from the sewer to our covert or whatever they used to call it. We just got to get into the sewer, but they can't get in. They get hyped because IG-11 pops in and like saves them because he raises Queel one more time on the comlink and he's like, where the fuck are you, dude? And then on the comlink, it's like, he's dead. And then it's like, well, where the hell are you? He's like, I'm saving you. And he like comes in and destroys everybody on the bike and rolls in.
A great scene. I love how he protects Baby Yoda. He turns his back to them.
Like, just can rotate his entire body, which is hilarious.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And he just guns down. All these stormtroopers are just like, what? None of them fire back. Most of them are just like, what's going on? And he guns down every single one. It's great.
So they take this as a move to press on the imps again. So Cara Dune hops up and starts shooting her big-ass gun out the window. Greef starts taking shots. Mando grabs the big-ass blaster gun that Gideon was going to use and starts using it on stuff. But then Gideon blows up the generator on the cannon, which to me, I was thinking to myself, why the fuck didn't they just do that? Like, if that thing blows up like that on one blaster shot, they could have just sniped it and killed everyone in a second.
I guess they didn't think about that. Yeah. It's weird. I mean, I guess now they know. I guess everyone knows now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a weird thing. But it gave Moff Gideon something cool to do when he finally showed back up and walked in like a boss and was like, man, all right, and just shot it.
Yeah, so basically now at this point, the gun blows up into Mando's hands. Cara Dune like drags Mando back in. He's like messed up. Now the fire troopers are going in. IG-11's trying to cut through the sewer grate, and Mando is like dying. She's like, it's not that bad. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he reaches into his helmet and like pulls out like a bloody ass hand. And so she's like, oh shit. So Mando's already like writing himself off. He's like, take my little Mandalorian dragon token, give it to the baby, tell him he's a foundling, I'm done. And she's like, what the hell? No. Then the flame trooper is like about to just literally kill everybody.
It's so cool. He burns down that building around them and they're just like, go, you've got to leave me. She's like, no, I ain't gonna do it. And as he walks through the door, all of a sudden that Force remix plays, and that little baby's just like, I got this shit. And you're like, oh!
Yeah.
Here we go.
Deadass saves them, throws fire back at the dude, takes him out. It is insane. The baby's like, I'm gonna just lay down for The baby like fully powers down.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh shit. Grief Karga's like, he's gonna eat me. IG-11 kicks open the grate. They get out. Cara Dune basically leaves Mando with IG-11 after Mando convinces her to run.
She tries to take off his helmet, and he's like, no.
Yeah.
I don't take it off for anybody. Just leave me to die. And the IG unit's like, I'll stay behind. I'll watch over him. You guys go. And he's like, oh, damn, I guess I'll let you because we're friends now. And the IG unit goes to take off his helmet, and the dude's like, you don't take it off for any living thing. And then they pull the great trope of like, I am not alive.
Yeah.
Right.
He's like, I'm a robot, bitch.
And then he takes off his helmet, and we see, in fact, it is 100%
sweaty ass, dirty ass Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
IG-11 like sprays his face with Bacta. He's like, you're gonna be like fucked up for a little bit, but this Bacta's gonna actually save you. Sure enough, in a few minutes, he's already on his feet. They're walking through the sewer, and he's like, trust me, when I get to the other Mandalorians, they're gonna, all of a sudden they're in there, and there's nobody around, and right in the middle of the floor, there's like a big pile of Mandalorian chest plates, helmets, all this armor.
Yeah.
This just represents dead people, doesn't it? And you're
yeah,
like,
the Empire came and killed them all, even though they all start to fight with each other, like, what'd you do? Oh, and they start yelling at each other, like, did you send the bounty hunters here? It's like, my dude, the bounty hunters left the minute you left, there was no reason for them to be here. And he's like, oh, who did this? And right then, the armor smith, or whatever her name is, she shows up with her awesome gold-ass helmet and is just like, the Empire came and killed them all. And now I'm just sitting here because apparently this is what I do, and I am scrapping their armor to, I assume in the future, make some dope-ass armor for someone else. But she's just scrapping all their armor, and she's like, I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to leave. And he's like, what are you doing? She's like, this is the way, dog.
And then he's like, what do I need to do? And she's like, guess what? This thing has the Force. This guy's your everything.
Yeah. These were Jedi. They used to be our enemy.
Well, but they actually describe it very weirdly. And to me, this answers a little bit of the question about that we always talk about on this podcast about like, how does the galaxy at large understand the idea of the Jedi, the Force?
Sure.
And just from this, she was like, ancient Mandalorians found a race of wizards that could do this. And he's like, a race of wizards? What in the hell? And it, does that mean that the Yoda species is tied to the origin of the Force? Is that like the story that we're going down?
Maybe. And here's the thing. I would love to see that story. I don't even need the, what are Yoda's people called? Or even what is the child's real name? Doesn't even matter to me. But learning the origins of the Jedi would be fascinating.
So she basically reveals this thing about this creed that the Mandalorians have about reuniting things because, there's no foundling that we can't train it or keep it, so we have to just return it.
Yeah, Baby Yoda is a foundling now.
Yeah.
She's like, he's a foundling. He helped you. He's one of us now, which I was like, yes.
Which, like, obviously, that's how the Mando already felt. But now, you circle back around to that scene from episode 2 or episode 3 where he showed up with all the Beskar, and she was like, what do you want your sigil to be? And she was like, how about that Mudhorn? And he was like, no, that, it was dishonorable victory because my friend didn't know that he was my enemy. Yeah. And so now she's like, well, we've come full circle, and that Mudhorn is like everything now. That event connected you guys, and you guys are you're a new house now. You and this baby are now a new house of Mandalore.
Yeah, you're a house of 2.
Yeah.
You're a clan of 2.
And so
I was like, oh yes.
Yeah. So now she has the pauldron. He has the Mudhorn pauldron. IG-11's like, I'm going to go deal with some stormtroopers. And then she's like, oh, by the way, do you know how to do, so I forget what she said, but it was like, do you know Kung Fu? And he was like, a little. And she was like, I have one more thing for you. Da-da-da-da. You got jetpack. And she's like, make sure you practice with this because you're not going to be able to use it right away for sure. No, there's no way that you are going to be able to pick this up and use it in just 10 minutes, okay? And he's like,
Sure.
sure, great. And then
As we've learned, the Mandalorian can pick up anything and use it in 10 minutes. It is exactly what episode 2 is about.
so they take off, and then all of us, for no reason except for like gratuitous awesomeness porn from Alex, basically, the armorer like takes this like, kneeling stance in front of her altar, and then they like after
As
everybody
stormtroopers show up,
after everybody leaves, they just show the stormtroopers show up, and instead of them like killing her, she just like swings her clamps and her hammer around. They show her knocking this stormtrooper's entire like lower jaw of his helmet off. It was so sick. One dude goes right into the smelter.
He instantly melts.
Yeah, he's gone.
It was crazy.
He's gone. So she just like bopped him and then was like, all right, back to work. Like she was fine.
She'll be back for sure.
They go through this tunnel and they find this weird like Zelda-ass boat that's encrusted in the lava and
with a R2 unit, like melted to it.
Yeah, another one of those weird taxi driver R2s. And basically they get in this lava boat thing. They start to go, and all of a sudden the R2 unit starts to move, and it's not an R2 unit like you expect. It's a
man.
It's like a Slender Man inside of a R2D2 costume. His legs and arms are tall so that he can be like a gondolier R2D2 unit. It is so fucking funny.
And he's just like, all right, I'll take you.
And then I thought that was going to be the end, but then Mando notices stormtroopers on either side of the tunnel, and he's like, shit, we're trapped. We can't go back. We're in lava.
Yeah, the R2 unit's like, I'm going forward. Forward's all I know. Cara Dune just...
They blow his head off, and still it doesn't happen. So IG's like, well, I can't be captured. That's my primary programming. If you tell me you're going to take care of the baby, I will go over there and I will blow up. And now Mando has like fully grown because we see him begging IG-11 to find some way to like not die. And IG-11 is, I just have to die. That's just how it's going to be.
Yeah, the only way you all can live and the only way Baby Yoda can live is if I die. He's like, I've done the calculations.
This isn't some bullshit either because we actually did see this in episode 1 when they meet IG-11. He actually does have this functionality earlier too.
Yeah.
So it's not just some weird Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah. How dare you? How dare you? Your puns.
And then Gideon comes by in his TIE fighter, the kneeling TIE, and this is like, oh no, now we're really fucked.
Yeah.
Greef Karga's like, come on, baby. Do your hand, man. Like, make your magic happen, baby. Use the magic hands.
Yoda just waves.
Yeah, and then Baby Yoda's like, hi. And so Mando then, he's like, I got this. We finally get to see Jesse's moment from the trailer that he remembered, where the Mando flies up into the air, lassos onto the back of the thing, blows up the wing, and defeats Moff Gideon for the time being, giving them plenty of time to escape. Cara ends up staying on Navarro with Greef Karga as his like enforcer, and
yeah, I guess that's what they don't say that's definitely what's gonna happen, but it's kind of hinted that's what's gonna happen.
That's literally what they say.
Well, because he's like, you should, and she doesn't ever agree to it.
Well,
but he's like, you should definitely stay here. You could be my enforcer. And she's like, eh. But they stay there together.
She
so
stays
we'll
behind. She doesn't go with Mando is the main thing. And then she's like, take care of the baby. And Greef's like, well, maybe that baby's going to take care of you. And he's like, oh, okay, bye. And
okay, Greef. All right.
So they're back on the thing. Mando gets to like bury Quill on his like little goggle grave thing that was really cute. Mm-hmm. And he also realizes that IG left the baby with the pendant that he meant to give him when he thought he was dying.
The mythosaur. Yeah.
And so he's like, you know what? Actually, why don't you actually do what you should actually hold on to this baby because you're my buddy, right?
Yeah. Part of the clan.
Yeah. So they're good.
And they fly off to adventure.
They're gone. Everything's good. And then fucking, I told you, ex-Inquisitor Moff Gideon cuts his way out of this TIE fighter.
I don't know that he's an Inquisitor. We have no knowledge of that.
But he cuts his way out of a TIE fighter with the dark saber.
With the dark saber. With the infamous dark saber. The weapon of
the only Jedi Mandalorian ever to be, who also was the king of the Mandalorians, who then passed it down through his lineage forever. So either...
And this goes back to Rebels. Well, first off, it goes to Clone Wars and Rebels, but the last time we see it is in Rebels when Sabine hands it off and is like, here, you take it. She hands it to the new queen.
Bo-Katan.
Yeah. And which, again, I assume means that she and all those other people we see in Rebels were super killed
Yeah, but here's the thing. It could mean either that Moff Gideon is a Mandalorian or that he is some sort of Jedi or Dark Jedi.
That'd be interesting if he was a Mandalorian, but they definitely say he was ISB. So during the time period, he wasn't a Moff. He was just straight up a
he was just an
Security
officer.
Bureau agent. Yeah. So I would imagine that he was involved with the destruction of Mandalore, and then he took that as sort of a prize?
Do you think maybe he's like trying to become a Jedi by like science?
Maybe that'd be a fascinating storyline if he was like, I want that baby so we can siphon the Force from it. Which again is a sciencey thing. That's why I keep saying, like, there's this weird science element of them trying to be like, if some way we can do something with this baby, sciencey, which I don't understand, but I'm interested to see what they do.
That's it for today. What's next on the docket?
I think for sure we should, we'll go back to only podcast form after this, but I think we 100% should cover Rebel Season 4.
Yeah.
I feel like we should pick whether we're going to do the comics around Rise or we do Jedi Apprentice and stuff, because we've been like hovering around that. Davis has read that poor book twice now.
I can read I can read Master and Apprentice. We can do the comic. It's only 4 issues, so like we can crush that in a quick little episode once Davis gets back. But for you guys out there, if you want to read Allegiance, the comic thing, go ahead and do it. It's only 4 issues. If you want to watch Rebel Season 4, go ahead and do it. It's on Disney+. If you want to read Master and Apprentice, that's a book. It's an ebook, and it's the prequel to the Dooku audio drama that we're going to do very soon.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
And then we'll get you with some more stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Yeah, we're back in it. I know we took a break, and I know we were just like a little worn out from that 40 stories book that destroyed us.
What a terrible book.
The true dark side of the Force. But I think Mando inspired us to be really excited. Did you see the dude who, I think fresh off the boat, he was like, I want to do a Rose Tycho series. He's like, I'm so mad that Rose was pushed out of the movie. I want to do, and I was like, yes,
I would have watched
make
that.
it happen.
I would have watched that
in
for
a heartbeat. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. Put it at like the same time as like Resistance, you know, that vibe. Like I would watch that. Put her sister
Give
in
her
the
something
show.
to do.
Yeah. Did you know that she has less screen time in Rise of Skywalker than her sister does in Last Jedi?
Yes, absolutely. It's so messed up.
Anyway, that's that. Read and watch the things. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Oh, and something about keep your droids close and your droids closer.
We'll make Davis say it 3 times at the end of the next one so that you can feel like you got what you expect.
Bye.
You know, where's the payoff? Bring the strippers and booze. We do occasionally talk about video games. Bring the strippers and booze. Not enough time for video games. Bring the strippers and booze.
Oh, thank God, I don't need pants now.
Hey, JC, what are you doing? Not much. Making a fortune.
It's a production of broadcast.
Yeah, now sing music.
It's a production of broadcast.
Bring the strippers and booze.
It's a production of broadcast.
Now I'm here to ask and answer one simple question.
It's a production of broadcast.
You